Our story opens today in, of all places, the headquarters of the Frostbite Falls Voice Binder Company, makers of first-class voice binders for home and industry.
Gentlemen, there's a great question to be decided here today.
Yes, Mr. Brett.
On it may rest the future of our beloved company.
What's the question, Mr. Brett?
When shall we have the company picnic?
Oh, the 4th of July.
Groundhog Day.
Very well, gentlemen, very well. We'll compromise and hold it on my birthday.
Yes, Mr. Brett. One question, sir.
Keep it short, Parkinson.
Will it rain that day?
Rain? Oh, dear, no.
That is a puzzle, Parkinson.
What about asking Bullwinkle Moose if it's going to rain?
Excellent idea, Lumpley.
Thank you, sir.
Glad I thought of it. Miss Bleen, get me Bullwinkle J. Moose.
And in a flash, a call went from the town's largest industrial plant to one of its smallest houses.
Hello? Rocky the Flying Squirrel speaking. Oh, it's for you, Bullwinkle. Somebody else wants a weather forecast.
Oh, Baz Stairs. Just when I was catching up on my reading.
The Bobbsey twins at the seashore.
Yeah, you can't beat the classics, I only say. Hello.
Mr. Moose, Pongo Britt here. Will there be precipitation on my natal day?
All depends if you leave it out in the rain or not.
I mean, will it rain on my birthday?
Oh.
The date is June 10th.
June 10th, let's see. Oh!
Bad, eh?
Terrible. My bunion just got an awful twinge to it.
It couldn't be wrong.
Sir, you are speaking of my own personal prophesying bunion.
Oh, of course, my apologies. Well, gentlemen, I'll just have to change the date.
For the picnic, Mr. Brett?
No, for my birthday.
Yes, Mr. Brett.
Yes, strange though it seems, Bullwinkle's bunion is the chief weather forecaster for all of Frostbite Falls.
Yes?
Mr. Moose, how about our double header tomorrow? The paper says showers.
Well, my bunion says play ball.
Thanks to Bullwinkle's bunion, no Frostbite Falls baseball game has ever been rained out. No picnic has ever been spoiled by showers.
But can't he do something about ants?
As a result, Bullwinkle gets calls at all times of the day and night.
Hello, can Mr. Moose make a forecast?
Well, he's asleep. Why don't you call the weatherman?
I am the weatherman.
Yes, each night Bullwinkle sleeps the dreamless sleep of a moose well loved by the whole community. Or he did, until one night when two mysterious figures crept close to the cottage, eased open a window, and slipped inside.
Hey, what are you guys?
In a flash, Rocky had been bound and gagged, and the figures turned their attention to the slumbering Bullwinkle.
You ready with that sleeping potion, Hadley?
Ready, Norbert.
Let him have it. You dope, you're supposed to take it out of the bottle first.
It worked, didn't it?
Come on, we got no time to lose. Which is the hoof with the bunion on it?
This one.
Okay, let's get started.
And while a baffled Rocky watched helplessly the figures wrap Bullwinkle's hoof in cotton batting and excelsior, and then build a small packing case around it. Unfortunately, Bullwinkle chose that moment to come too.
Golly, my hoof looks like it's packed to send to somebody.
Right you are, Palsy. Any objections?
Couldn't I have it gift wrapped?
Hadley, the sleeping potion.
Coming up.
And pour it out of the bottle first.
Like this?
Yeah. Now give it to him.
Right.
I give up. Let's go. And be careful of that prize Tootsie.
So carrying the unconscious moose and his carefully packaged Tootsie, the mysterious figures crept away into the night, leaving a furious Rocky thrashing helplessly behind them. Well, things have gone wrong in a hurry, haven't they? I'm sure you'll want to see our next episode, The Male Animal, or Bullwinkle Stamps His Foot.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But that trick never worked.
This time for sure. Presto! Well, I'm getting close.
And now it's time for another special feature.
Tuning up your instrument, son?
Huh? Oh, hi, Pop. I didn't see you standing there.
Yeah, so I noticed. You're supposed to be practicing, aren't you?
Oh, gee, Dad. Shooting arrows is much more fun. Besides, I can't play this thing.
You could if you practiced. Remember, practice makes perfect. Which reminds me of a fable.
Everything reminds you of a fable, doesn't it, Pop?
Well, almost everything. This fable is called The Canary and the Musical Hairs. Rabbits are very talented people, especially two rabbits who were musicians. Year after year, they toured the forest, delighting the citizens with their virtuosity.
Well, Johann, what'll we start off with today?
How about Beethoven's 46th?
Beethoven never wrote a 46th.
Does it matter?
No, it didn't matter, for you see, those two rabbits had stumbled upon a great idea. Although they went through the motions of playing, not a sound did they produce. This, of course, fascinated the audience. They came from far and wide to stare in wonder at the silent orchestra.
Johann, you were flat in the introduction.
I know, it's my E string. Too much resin.
The close of the performance never failed to bring a rousing tribute from the onlookers, along with a monetary appreciation.
Hey, keep your eyes open for an Indian head nickel. I'm saving them.
Okay, you keep your eyes open for a nickel-headed Indian. I am saving them.
As usual, the tour was a magnificent success. In forest after forest, it was the same old story, standing room only. And then the trouble began. The boys were halfway through Gershwin's Rhapsody in Brown when suddenly, out of nowhere, a canary appeared on the stage and began to sing. The hares were shocked, and so was the audience. Somehow or other, didn't seem right to hear music coming from the stage.
Kick! Shoot him!
What with, my cello?
And it was too late anyway. One by one, the audience wandered off, and the concert was a resounding flop.
Well, thanks a lot, Canary. I guess you know you just ruined our performance.
Yeah, what's the big idea?
I want to sing with your band.
What? We don't have no use for singers.
Yeah, go see Lawrence Elk or somebody.
And with that, the two hares packed their instruments and departed for the site of their next concert. Ah, but that canary was not to be denied.
It's him again.
Come here, hit him in the head with some birdseed before the audience walks out on us again.
Yeah, but unfortunately they had no birdseed and no audience.
Nice going, Canary. You did it again.
Yeah, I got a good mind
I'm
to...
sorry, fellas, but I just gotta sing. And with your band.
Well, I guess we got no alternative but to hire you.
What?
Come on, let's get some sleep.
Ludwig, the trombone-playing hare, had a devilish plan in mind.
Johann. What? Now's our chance to get rid of the canary. Take this rocket, tie it to his foot, and light it.
You better do that, Ludwig. I'm not very good at this sort of thing.
It's easy. Look, this is my foot, right?
Yeah.
And this is the rocket, right?
Yeah.
You tie the rocket to the foot like this, right?
Yeah.
Then you light it.
The foot?
The rocket.
You mean like this?
Yeah. Johann.
Yeah.
Look, we got to give that bird the air.
Sure, what do you got in mind?
Well, if you'll notice, we are standing on a cliff. Directly below us stands the canary. Now, you go down and engage him in conversation. While you are so engaged, I will drop this boulder on him.
It was a splendid plan. Unfortunately, 5 minutes later...
Well, did I get him?
Nein, he got tired of talking to me and wandered off.
Where is the rock?
What rock?
The rock I pushed off the cliff.
You didn't push any rock off the cliff.
I did too.
You didn't.
I did.
Didn't.
Did.
It was obvious that the canary would always be an integral part of the group. It was also obvious that another failure was imminent. Ah, but fate was kind, though, for out of nowhere a sudden cloudburst appeared, deluging musicians, audience, and canary alike. And just as suddenly, the cloudburst departed, leaving a mighty soaked concert. It also left something else, a case of laryngitis with the canary. Yes, sir, no matter how hard he tried to sing, the poor bird couldn't utter a note. The hares were back in business again. What's more, before every appearance, they sprinkled their vocalist with a generous supply of water, thus ensuring laryngitis and a silent concert. And that's why I always say practice makes perfect.
I don't think that moral fits, Pop.
You don't, eh?
No, I got a better one. A bird in the band is worth two in the bush.
Let's shoot some arrows, son.
Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is a...
Not that lesson. This lesson. Greetings, you culture bugs. Today's poem is called The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, continuous as the stars that... Aye.
Can't you read the sign, buddy?
Well, certainly. What sign?
The one behind those daffodils.
This one that says, "Do not pick flowers"?
That's the one.
Well, there I was, Your Honor, wandering lonely as a cloud that floats...
30 daffodils, eh? That will be $30 and 30 days.
Now oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my bright blue eye, as I sit here in solitude. And then my heart with anger fills. $1 apiece for daffodils?
And now it's time
For 5 or 6 baritone solos in the key of E.
But
If not... Ooh.
now for another of our special features.
Should have tried E flat.
Hello out there, Peabody and Sherman in here.
Where are we going today, Mr. Peabody?
Mexico, my boy. The year is 1910, and the famous person we'll tete-a-tete with is Pancho Villa. The Wayback whisked us back through the decades to a bandit camp in the Mexico Badlands. It was obvious that Pancho was having trouble with his men.
Pancho, you know we love you like a bandit, but how come all the time you're feeding us jumping beans?
Because, Gonzales, beans is all we got.
Well, if this keeps up, Pancho, we gonna jump ourselves over to some other leader.
Don't be silly, boys. Jumping is good for you. Gives you exercise.
We don't want no exercise.
Tell you what Pancho gonna do. I gonna ramp down, get mucho pesos, and buy beans that don't make you jump.
Better yet, stick up the town and buy tamales. I don't like beans no more.
Very well, I do it.
The nearest town was El Famino, undoubtedly the most poverty-stricken metropolis in the world. Sherman, we must warn these people Pancho Villa is on his way, and we'll start with that street cleaner.
Who's the street cleaner? I am the mayor.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Your Honor.
Mr. Mayor, you better tell your citizens that Pancho Villa is coming to rob you.
Oh, no, he ain't.
Why not?
Because we got nothing he can rob us of. This town is destitute, poor, bankrupted, broke.
What do you keep in that bank?
That's not a bank. It's a motel.
Mr. Mayor, have you any idea what Pancho Villa will do if he robs you and doesn't get any money?
Sure. He'll take an IOU.
He'll destroy the town.
Well, if that's the way it's gonna be, that's the way it's gonna be. Excuse me, senors, but I have a luncheon engagement around the corner.
What do we do, Mr. Peabody?
Well, there must be some money in the town, Sherman, and it's up to us to raise it. Just then, Pancho rode in.
Stick 'em up, town.
Mr. Villa, I wonder if you could come back at 3.
3? Can you give me one good reason why, senor?
Because the town doesn't have any money to give you now, but by 3 it will have.
That's not a bad reason. Okay, I come back at 3. Vámonos, caballo.
Our first step was the El Famino Bank. You wish a room, senor?
The mayor was right. This is a motel.
We got special this week on safe deposit boxes. They're very comfortable, senors. Look, my good man, if I were to hold you up, what would I get? A sore back. I weigh 200 pounds.
No, Mr. Peabody means that if he held you up with a gun, what would he get?
Excuses. Nothing but excuses. You have no money, then? No one in El Famino has money, except maybe old man Moss. He's a millionaire. Oh? Sure, he saved money all his life. I bet you he's got at least $1.50 salted away. The Moss Rancho was located on the very edge of town. We approached the rancho, and there on the porch sat old man Moss, kicking the bucket.
Mr. Moss, Pancho Villa is going to hold up the town at 3, and unless he gets money, he'll wipe out everything.
Would you be willing to donate $1 or so?
I will be most happy to, but all my money is tied up in food.
Food? I wonder what Pancho would say to that.
Food is all right. I was going to buy food with the money anyway. What kind of food you got, senor?
Jumping beans. 20 crates of them.
Senors, if I was to take these beans to my men, they would jump me to death. Well, I guess I got to wipe the town out. Who's got a match?
I can't let you do that, Pancho. I was willing to let you get away with a loan of $1 or $2 to prevent any violence, but as for wiping El Camino out...
How are you going to stop me?
With this! I produced a photograph of a fascinating senorita, one whose beauty was enough to overcome any man. Pancho Villa took one look at it and promptly fell asleep, and, strangely enough, so did all the other gentlemen in that area. We removed the desperado's guns and sent him riding off where he came from.
But suppose he comes back?
We'll leave this picture with the town. Pancho will fall asleep every time he sees it.
But I don't understand, Mr. Peabody. Why does everyone fall asleep when they look at this?
It's an old Spanish custom, Sherman.
It is?
Of course. This girl's name is Esther. And you know that when you siesta, you fall asleep.
Last time you remember, Bullwinkle's weather forecasting bunion had got him and his pal Rocky in a peck of trouble. Two mysterious figures entered their little house, tied and gagged Rocky, and used a sleeping potion on Bullwinkle while it was still in the bottle. Then they carefully packed up Bullwinkle's hoof and carried it, and him, out of the house and into the night. Sometime later, Rocky managed to free himself and grabbed the telephone to call for help.
Hello, Sheriff Wright. This is Rocky. Two fellas just came in here and took... Oh, hello, Mabel. Well, I'd like to talk to... Well, I'm fine, thanks. Could I speak... No, he's not so good. Somebody... No, it's not a cold in the antlers. Somebody stole his bunion. Oh, never mind. I'll go see the sheriff.
And in a twinkling, Rocky was zooming low over the rooftops of Frostbite Falls on his way to the sheriff's office.
I gotta hurry. Who knows where they're taking Bullwinkle, or why?
Good questions, those, for at that moment, at a nearby deserted airstrip, the unconscious form of Bullwinkle Moose was being loaded aboard a fast plane.
All set, you guys. Take off.
And the plane zoomed skyward as Bullwinkle groggily began to recover.
Let me off at 17th Street, please.
You bet, fella.
Hey, what's this on my hoof?
Why, it's the latest thing in moose shoes.
Yeah, notice the continental styling, the interesting texture?
Peachy! I think I'll step outside and look at it in the day room.
Grab him, Hadley.
You fellas ought to get that step fixed. Fella could get an injury.
Get him back in the plane, Hadley.
Plane! Aha! I begin to see the light.
Unfortunately, Bullwinkle didn't see it for very long. Meanwhile, back in Frostbite Falls, Rocky and Sheriff Wright had just followed a double set of footprints to the edge of the airstrip.
Looks like they took him away in a plane, Rocky.
Well, let's go after him.
Can't do it, Rocky.
Why not, Sheriff?
See that there dotted line there?
Yeah?
That there's a state border. I got no authority over that line.
You mean?
Yep. You're making a federal case out of it, Rocky.
Well, then there's only one thing to do. I'm going straight to Washington.
And the plucky squirrel began a frenzied flight to the nation's capital to enlist the aid of the federal government.
But you gotta help me. My buddy and his bunion have been swiped, and
Let me look it up in the directory. My buddy. Yes, that would come under the Veterans Administration.
Is this the Veterans Administration?
Right. So you want to re-enlist, eh, soldier? Wonderful.
No, sir. You see, my buddy and his bunion have been swiped.
Hold it. Let's see now. Bunion. Ah, yes. Check with the health department.
Is this the health department?
Of course. Open your mouth and say ah.
But...
Not but, say ah.
Ah.
Hold it. You need glasses.
I have glasses.
So you do.
You see, my buddy and his bunion were swiped.
Swiped? Have you tried the FBI?
No, but I will. Is this the...
We'll ask the questions, fella. Name?
Rocky.
Occupation?
I'm a squirrel.
Problem?
My buddy, his bunion, swiped.
Tried missing persons?
I was already there.
Well, that's the nice thing about Washington.
What's that?
You always travel in the right circles.
And while Rocky desperately tries to get some assistance in his plight, the plane-bearing Bullwinkle and his weather-wise Bunyan is traveling out over the ocean on its way to who knows where.
Don't look at me, Jack. I'm not tipping off the plot.